now listening to Wrestle Report Australia.
You're here. I'm here. Let's do this.
That's right, everybody. You're here. We're here. So let's do this. Welcome back to another edition of Wrestle Report Australia. Today is Tuesday, the 6th of March, 2018. As stated, we are a day ahead of America, but Raw happened today, and this is our weekly Raw review. As always, I am Mike. This is Lon. Hit him with it one time.
What up?
And we are the newest team bringing you all the news in the wrestling world and the fight game. First off, I do want to apologize that last week we did not get round to a SmackDown review. There were a couple of difficulties that we did not foresee, but like I said, the first couple of weeks and editions of this podcast are going to be sketchy because we're figuring out a timeline and what is the best way for us to do it. But we'll get there, and we can promise that this week there will be a SmackDown review. But hey, nothing really happened on SmackDown last week anyway. You know, just some John Cena stuff, which we will get to later in this edition as well. And before we get into the actual review of Raw, I just want to state that there were some online reports to my colleague here. There were some online reports of new titles being brought out after WrestleMania.
Yes.
205 Live, apparently they're looking into bringing out Cruiserweight Tag Team titles, much like WCW had in the old days. And the reports say that it would seem to be because Triple H has now taken over the brand, and it would be a decision made by him. But we'll see what happens with that. But what are your thoughts on Cruiserweight Tag Team titles, my friend?
Well, it could be interesting. Like, giving everyone else something to do, since there's only one title.
Yeah, I know.
But it'll be good to see some tag teams formed, and I don't know, just hopefully they just get some more character to the show, because it's just really stale at the moment.
I like that Triple H has taken over it is a good sign.
Yes.
Because look what he's done with NXT. So if all goes to plan, Triple H may turn 205 Live around and make it into something actually worth watching, because there's a lot of talent in that roster, but there is no direction for that show itself. So I would like to see what goes on there post WrestleMania. But enough of that. Let's get into it, shall we? Raw review. We begin with Kurt Angle starting off the show this week. He comes out to address what happened last week. There was a brief little recap of what happened between him, Rousey, McMahon, and Triple H at Elimination Chamber and last week on Raw. As always, he stumbles a couple of lines.
Classic Kurt.
Classic Kurt in his promos. I believe he called Stephanie McMahon Stephanie Man, which is okay, Kurt, you know.
Double E. Double E.
I swear nobody can say WWE.
You just did.
Yeah, but I mean, that's in the company that gets a microphone in that company. I swear they can't say it. It's 3 simple letters, 2 of which are the same.
I love double E.
But anyway, yep, he comes out and he wants to get straight down to business. Says he's not going to stand for what happened, and he immediately calls out Triple H. He gets ready for a fight, takes off his jacket. Kurt's getting serious, and just when the crowd are going nuts, hoping for Triple H to come out, we hear the theme song for Stephanie McMahon. She comes out, gets booed. She says that Triple H isn't even here, so Kurt needs to start thinking about like what's best for him in his job, and she goes as far to talk about his kids and his second marriage. But she gives him props, you know, about his accomplishments, but says his accomplishments don't pay the bills and it's his job. And that he needs to just move on and put everything behind them. And before you know it, the shittest theme in WWE hits, and the new girl on the block, Ronda Rousey, comes out looking significantly happier this week.
Yeah, she lost her attitude from last week, and now she's happy this week. I don't understand.
But the crowd was chanting for her. Ronda Rousey chants rang out through the arena, which is good. You know, like I said, I want to see her prove that she deserves it. She got on the mic again. She didn't seem to have too much trouble. She had a bit of trouble. She still doesn't have enough confidence, in my opinion. But I think she'll get there. Then she just basically starts trashing them. Says that they're not the people that brought her here weren't who she thought they were, but she's dealt with bully bosses her entire career.
Dana.
No, Dana loved her, bro. Dana's probably
all her career.
Oh, yeah, but that's just an angle there. Oh, Dana gave her everything. I can guarantee he's so sour she's gone and that she lost. That was his that was the draw before Connor, and then people didn't really they got sour on her and Connor took over, but that was his cash cow. That was his original one, and yeah, when he lost her, I bet you he was fuming. So I don't think he was who she was directing that at. But anyway, Steph says that the people around here have to take the orders and get it done. Ronda signed the contract, so she's part of the company that Steph controls, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. They're giving her what she wants, and that's the match at WrestleMania, her debut match, on the grandest stage of them all. And it doesn't get any bigger than that. And then Rousey drops the bombshell saying that in her contract it states that she gets to choose her opponent at WrestleMania.
Ooh.
And Stephanie says yes, but as long as that person is not a current champion, and as long as that person is on the active roster. And at this point I'm thinking, oh, well, how about that? I thought it was a build to the Stephanie, and then I thought, nah, Stephanie's not on the active roster. But anyway, Ronda does say she wants to face Stephanie, and the crowd loves it. But then, just as Stephanie starts to get scared and shut it down, saying she's not on the active roster, Triple H's music hits, and he comes out saying, whoa, 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 hey. He tells Kurt that he needs to take off his Olympic medals and stop trying to be a tough guy and just to do his job, and that Stephanie is an executive of this company. Kurt cuts him off and says, you know, he was told he wasn't there. Triple H is kind of stumped because he wasn't expecting that. And then he's like, hey, surprise, I'm here. But don't worry about me, worry about doing your job. And Kurt says he's right. Stephanie is an executive and she has a contract stating that she's an executive, but she also has a second contract.
This secret one.
The secret contract that nobody knows about other than Kurt Angle.
This magically came in today.
And that contract states that she is also a WWE superstar. And he says that he makes the matches around here as his job. So Stephanie will be facing Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. But that's not it. Triple H also has a second contract apparently. And Kurt did say that if this after Survivor Series, that if Triple H ever attacked him again, that he was coming after him. So it's not just going to be Stephanie McMahon versus Ronda Rousey. It's going to be Stephanie McMahon and Triple H versus Ronda Rousey and him. He had a big emphasis on me, so I thought I'd say him the way he said it. But yeah, it's now a mixed tag team match at WrestleMania. Steph then yells at Kurt and goes to slap him. Ronda does the whole trademark, no way. I'm gonna block you and act like I'm hectic.
The same hold she got her in at WrestleMania that year.
Yeah, yes.
Exact same
Flashback. Triple H steps in quickly and tries to act like the peacemaker, escorts Stephanie out of the ring, says it's not going to go down like this, and then trademark WWE Angle, he goes for the cheap shot on Angle, but this time Angle was ready, and they had a little back and forth, which was cool. It's cool. To open Raw, we got to see Triple H and Kurt Angle getting a little brawl.
Yeah, the wrestling machine's back.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah. He's grumpy, bro.
Not the other Kurt that was,
coming out
just in
smiling
those
to
little
use up
matches.
chance.
He's back.
Yeah, no, that was good. I liked that. And Triple H ends up getting the better of him. But But then Rousey stands over the top of Triple H. And then Stephanie comes in, hits the cheap shot from behind, and then all Rousey's got to do, as usual, is just look at her, and Stephanie starts running. And then we see fucking Kurt Angle put Triple H in the ankle lock. He actually got it. And, you know, Stephanie eventually drags him out of the ring, and that's when you think it's over. But Rousey drags Stephanie back into the ring, and then...
picked her up by her
Yeah, yeah, that's the executive right there. She's going to pull that shit straight out. But this was weird. You know, I thought she was going to go for the trademark armbar, and instead she lifts Stephanie McMahon up onto her head, up onto her shoulders, and hits a huge fucking Samoan drop. And I wonder, is that going to be a finisher, or is that just a move that she just wanted to hit Stephanie McMahon with?
I think it's just one of the moves that she's learnt at the Performance Center or something. I don't know.
But come on,
it looks so awkward.
Yeah, I know. It's your first major spot. You could have picked something better than a Samoan drop.
They're trying everything to push her. They're like,
Make
fuck it. She's The Rock's cousin.
Look strong.
Samoan drop.
She's The Rock's cousin now.
Big push, trying to push her.
Yeah, but we'll see how it goes. That was basically the end of the segment there.
No, Rousey, I really like. I reckon she done friggin' pretty good, eh?
This week was good.
Yeah.
I'll give her props for this week. Anyway, that was the end of that segment. And then we lead into...
She looked heaps better, I reckon.
Yeah, and the crowd gave her a good reaction too, which would have given her a bit of confidence, I think.
Better on the mic.
Yeah, she's getting there. That's what I mean. Like, there was still a couple of bits where she didn't really sound too confident behind what she was saying here and there, and got a bit lost. But you know, she's learning. She's learning, and she'll get there. Like I've stated in the previous editions that I'm not the biggest fan of her, but that doesn't mean I don't want her to succeed. This is WWE. This is the thing I've loved like my entire life, and I want to see anyone that comes there succeed. So, and she's one of the biggest names in the world, and yeah, she's good for business. She's good for business. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
Anyway, then we lead into a couple of things that are going to happen. We are shown that John Cena is going to be back to say how his life on SmackDown's going. He was here last week saying his road went through SmackDown now, so that's where he's going. And then he went to SmackDown and won his match that puts him in the now 6-pack challenge at Fastlane. And now he's back on Raw to talk about that. So we're going to get to that later on in the night. And then we're also told that coming up next is an Elimination Chamber rematch between Nia Jax and Asuka. When we come back from commercial, we see the hype for a tag match at Mania, which was just announced, the mixed tag team match. And then we lead straight into Nia Jax versus Asuka. I thought this was a great opening match for the show. What did you think?
Oh, yeah, it was a good match, but it was really sloppy. Like, Nia, I don't know, she wasn't protecting Asuka enough in that match. She was just slamming her around everywhere.
Yeah, but she's trying to make a statement, though.
That's true, but you can't just ragdoll her to make a statement. She's got to make it the Mania.
Yeah, but that's Asuka. She's fine. Nobody is ready for Asuka.
Nobody's going to be ready if they can't face her.
No, I didn't think it was that bad, but yeah. I thought it was a good match anyway to start the show. It was basically just a redemption story, really.
I reckon that match last week was better.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But in saying that, all their matches have been good. Like, it wasn't a terrible match. It was, like, I'll agree, she's a bit reckless, but she's always been a bit reckless, to be honest. That's one of the things that turned me off her for a long time.
I like when she come out, though. She looked,
yeah, I did make a note of that.
She looked like she was ready to tear her head off.
Yeah, she looked serious. Like, that's one of the first times she's come out, and I've actually been like, yeah, she fucking looks mean. So, yeah, I did make a note of that. I forgot to mention that.
I think they're trying to make her look more like a monster. Like, she's doing the gorilla press and the...
Yeah, that was cool. She looked strong in this match.
Yeah.
She did some power moves that made me just be like, whoa, that's cool to see someone like her do?
Aeroplane spin.
Yeah, face buster. What the hell? Spun around and then just dropped her on her face.
Yeah, crucifix, like, just lifted her right up and just started turning around and then just dropped her. That's what I mean, like.
By reckless.
Yeah.
I liked. See, that's what I liked. They were my favorite types of parts of the match.
And I think that, like, there was a Samoan drop or something as well.
Yeah.
And she came down, like, just smacked her head, like, straight on the.
And that
on the mat.
led into that's what led into the part of the match where there was a multiple near falls for Nia Jax, and then on that Samoan drop, Asuka managed to get her foot on the rope, and that was where you kind of thought that Nia might be winning. And yeah, but it was a good back and forth match, and then the ending sequence was great.
Yeah, the armbar.
Yeah, got her into the armbar. Nia Jax powered out of it with a slam, and Asuka held on and transitioned into a triangle choke. Nia wouldn't tap and tried slamming her multiple times. Asuka kept holding on until on the final counter slam, she transitioned back into the armbar, and Nia Jax eventually just had to tap out and got Asuka the victory. But I liked the final sequence. In the middle of that match, though, it was interesting because all of a sudden we cut to another backstage segment like we always suddenly see during matches recently.
Yeah, I'm so sick of that.
I want to watch the match. I don't want to see what people have to say backstage. Either tell me that before the match or tell me it after it.
It's that, cutting backstage and then putting the words up in the promos.
That on the brawn cams and the handheld handy cams.
Oh, there was heaps on SmackDown. I swear, at least 4 different superstars.
Last week there was, yeah. Anyway, we had a promo with Alexa and Mickie James backstage with Charles asking her Alexa's thoughts on how she thought Nia would go tonight. Alexa said that Nia needed to win that, and that not only is Nia looking to end the streak, but she's probably going to send Asuka to the hospital and end her career. That didn't happen. And after the match, there was a little image of Alexa looking sad backstage. And then once Asuka had left and the music cut, it had Nia just sitting in the ring by herself, and the crowd gave her a little cheer, which I liked. It was a
good respect.
It was a little respect moment, and she got it, which was good.
And she deserved that for sure.
Yeah, I would have liked it to be a bit bigger, but what can you do? At least it was decent. How many Lawn Stars does the opening match get?
The opener match gets 3.
3 stars.
Just standard, just because, I don't know, I just didn't like the sloppiness from Nia.
Interesting.
And I just liked that match last week a bit better.
Okay. And that leads us into, once again, another hype for Big Match John. Going to be there talking about his road to WrestleMania again.
Yes.
And then we are also told that it will be Braun Strowman versus Elias in a no disqualification match later tonight, but that would eventually change. That information would get thrown out the window, and we'll talk more about that later. And then we go to commercial, and when we come back, the Revival are already in the ring.
Job entrance.
Yeah, which is bullshit. They're the fucking Revival. Are you trying to hype them, or are you trying to what? What are you doing?
They're saying fuck the Revival.
The commentary team are talking about the little rivalry that the Bar and the Revival have been having on Twitter, because last week the Bar cut that promo saying that there's no one left to beat, they've beat them all. Then one of the members of the Revival put up on Twitter saying, well, hey, this is our resume, we've beaten them all too. You haven't beaten us, what's the go there? So the commentary team then reveal that if the Revival beat the Bar tonight, they get a tag team title shot at WrestleMania, which is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I was like, yes!
It's the match I was talking about last week. I was like, oh, I hope this happens at Mania.
And so then the Bar make their entrance. They get a good little reaction. And then we lead into it. The action. The Bar versus the Revival. I thought it was it wasn't the best match.
Edge and Christian would have loved it.
It was what
Their favourite tag teams.
Yeah, squaring off against each other. They'll have a lot to say about that on ENC's Pod of Awesomeness.
The best pod ever.
That's right.
Besides, Wrestle Report.
Yes, besides Wrestle Report Australia. Anyway, yeah, I thought this was a good match. The main thing I took away from it was good tag team wrestling. Like it was both teams trying to prove, because that's what the bars all that's what the revival's all about. You know, cutting off the ring, tag team moves, double teams. You know,
It was just some good solid wrestling.
yeah, and it was kind of the bar, you know, proving that they can do that too. It was like a little, hey, this is what you're about, and we're going to show you we can do it. And so yeah, it was a good little back and forth. There was some good spots in the match. I believe the people that were in the ring the most were Dawson and Sheamus for the majority of the match.
I don't know which one's Dash or Dawson. I'd just say the bold one and the one with hair.
Bald one's Dawson, hair's Wilder.
Alright.
It took me a while. I was on that FTR train a bit, you know, so I didn't really care about him all that much, and then I kind of got suckered in.
Well, they had those injuries, so...
I did like him on NXT, and then they got brought up and they didn't really get much of a, you know, strong push, but then, like you said, they got injured pretty quick. So, yeah.
Yeah, that didn't really go anywhere.
But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, there was one good spot in this match that I really did like. It's where Dawson hits Cesaro with a superplex from the top rope, and then Wilder from the other side of the ring hits him with a frog splash.
Yeah. All these frog splashes.
Yeah. It's like the new move. It's the new super kick.
Yeah. There's heaps. There's like
Everyone's just, yeah.
Owens, Sasha Banks, Seth, Wilder. I swear there's even more.
Yeah, there is. People just pull it out of the move. Anyway, yeah, but that did not get them the win. That's the spot that basically built the intensity for the end of the match. And then Wilder and Cesaro ended up being the legal men. Wilder tagged in Dawson to go for a double team, but Sheamus took him out. Dawson then took out Sheamus and looked like they were going to get the win, but Cesaro comes in from behind and hit him with the neutralizer and got the 3 count.
I like the ending.
It was good. It was a good little suspense ending.
Cesaro needs to do that move more often, eh?
Yeah, does his little neck crank. I'm getting ready to neutralize. He sold it well too. I liked how he sold it.
Swiss cyborg.
So yes, the tag team title match is still up in the air for WrestleMania. We don't know what's going on there, but how many Lone Stars does the second match of Raw get?
Another 3.
Another 3. Alright, that seems to be the trend this week, ladies and gentlemen. What came up next? You say? I'll tell you what came up next. John Cena comes up next after a commercial break. And then when we come back from commercial, obviously, we hear the inaugural sound of... What are they, trumpets leading in? I don't know. But John
Fans
Cena,
chanting John Cena songs.
yeah, John
singing
Cena comes out, once again goes over and slaps the hand of Mr. Jonathan Coachman. And
I bet your coach thinks he's so mad, eh? Getting that slap.
he's like, oh, yeah, John Cena loves me.
Fuck you, Graves and Cole.
Graves, you can sit there with your blonde hair. Cole, you can sit there with your weasel face. I get to shake John Cena's hand every week on air. What do you get to do? No, anyway, seriously though, shout out to Michael Cole and Corey Graves. Corey Graves, you're probably my favourite commentator that's active at the moment.
Moro.
Other than Moro.
Mamma mia!
Shout out to Mauro Ronaldo, brother. We see you. Anyway, Cena makes his way into the ring. He does his stupid little idiot pose that he always does when he's about to say something intense. And then he tells us why he's here. And why he's here on Raw to talk about SmackDown. He knows that some of us won't like what he has to say, but he suggests that we listen anyway because he's found his road to WrestleMania, and that's why he's here. because even Kurt Angle can appreciate and recognizes the importance of this Sunday's pay-per-view, Fastlane. He says as the only free agent that is able to appear on both shows, he sees it as a privilege. And he says he's on Raw to talk about Fastlane because he can't do it on SmackDown, because there's no way that his opponents, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles, would sit back and let him say what he has to say. He then goes on to give his little spiel about how a record that has stood in WWE for almost 20 years will be broken, and he says that he will become the WWE champion for the 17th time.
Yes.
He says that's the only way. That's his only road to WrestleMania for the past few weeks. He's been smothered in criticism. That he's been told that he's been handed every piece of success and that he doesn't earn the opportunities, and the only reason that he's here is to hold people back. But he doesn't believe that that's true, people. He says he wasn't given success, he was given a chance. And he took that chance and he earned opportunity by beating AJ Styles last week on SmackDown. He never has and never will be a man to stand in this ring and hold somebody back. And when he wins, the critics will come from everywhere saying that he robbed AJ of his moment at WrestleMania. But that's not the case. He says that he wants AJ to invoke his rematch clause immediately after Cena beats him, so it then becomes a triple threat match at WrestleMania with him, Shinsuke, and AJ for the WWE Championship. What do you think about that?
So, what did he say? He's not trying to hold anyone back.
Yeah.
But then he goes and beats AJ last week.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't let AJ have a win to make him look strong.
Yeah, pins the champ clean.
Yeah, pins the champ clean. And then he wants to put himself into the Shinsuke and AJ match.
Yeah, like an asshole.
Yeah, like a dick. But anyways,
Yeah.
I'm fucking sick of that guy.
As soon as he said invoke your rematch clause immediately, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. That doesn't sound intriguing at all. That sounds like absolute shit. All I want to see is Shinsuke versus AJ. Fuck everything else. And then just something just random and bizarre happens. Goldust music hits, comes out and cuts a little promo like he always does.
Calls himself a bum.
Yeah, he cuts a pro. I swear it's from a movie. That's what he does. He recites lines from movies. And then he talks about John Cena being the leading man and how he's always had the dream of sharing the silver screen with someone like John. The dream of standing in the spotlight at WrestleMania with someone like John. And that dream starts with him stopping John's road to WrestleMania. Which, this whole segment's just shit, so... I
don't think it was shit. I liked how Goldust came out and he cut that promo. I reckon it was a good promo.
It was a good promo, but I mean...
It's just useless because why is Goldust coming out?
That's why I don't care for it. Goldust, absolutely no reason, comes out. It's the first time that they've ever been in the ring together.
And it's just, he was never heel before and now he's just got this random heel turn.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's just been an asshole. It was a heel promo on John Cena. He eventually sucker punched John Cena at the end of it. And then we go to commercial and it comes back and Kurt Angle has officially made the match. Goldust versus John Cena.
I called it. Angle made the match.
It's shockingly too, it was Goldust in control for most of the action that we saw, and then the 5 moves of shit came in. John Cena hits the AA at the end for the 3 count. It was the reason I hated this whole segment. It was just a basic, shitty, pointless segment and match, just so John Cena could get some airtime.
It made freaking Goldust look good in it, but
how many Lone Stars does it get?
3 because Goldust is still the man.
Oh, I'm not disputing Goldust.
Otherwise, I'd say 1 because
of John Cena.
yeah, John Cena and his friggin' 5 moves of doom.
Yeah,
Trying to steal the spotlight again.
He's not trying. He does it. It's just what he does. Remember, that's what stars do. They steal the shine.
No, it was just, I don't know, it was just pointless for Goldust. But he done so well in it.
Yeah,
like,
I want to go on
deserves
record
better.
and saying I'm not hating on Goldust. I like Goldust. I've always liked Goldust.
he still goes friggin' in the ring so good.
He hasn't missed a step. I like the Rhodes brothers, Cody and Goldust.
They both got the same hair now.
Yep.
Same hairdos.
It's good to see Goldust still doing like really well in the ring. Like, but I
Goldust hit the low blow as well.
yeah,
Old school.
yeah. While the ref wasn't looking, he went full heel.
He was heaps of old school in this.
And
For sure.
I enjoyed, like I did take a note that it was Goldust. I actually did take a note of that low blow, but it was Goldust in most of the action, in control of most of the action, and I did enjoy seeing him work. It wasn't a bad showing by Goldust by any means. It was just a shitty overall segment because it was pointless in my eyes. But it gets 3 Lance stars, so it stays with its head above the water.
It's just because Goldust is still so good.
He's a machine.
Yeah.
He's a Rhodes man.
Is he? He's a Runnels.
Well, whatever. They don't quit. That's all that matters. Alright, after that match, we then see a hype for the 6-pack challenge match, just, because they got to hype it this Sunday at Fastlane. This Sunday at Fastlane. And then we cut to a backstage segment with Kurt Angle on his phone. But we quickly hear the gentle strumming of a guitar. And in walks Elias. And this is where we said at the start of this edition that the no DQ match between Braun Strowman would then change. This is when it changed. Elias asks Kurt to reconsider and to cancel the Symphony of Destruction match between him and Braun. And at that point, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What's a Symphony of Destruction match? Why can't you just call it a no disqualification match? Why have they got to label all this dumb shit?
This is what they do.
And then straight after that, it's revealed that there will be instruments scattered all over the arena to be used as weapons in the match. And Elias says that that's a bad message to be sending to people, and that Kurt should reconsider it. Kurt says he'll consider it, and then quickly just says he's not cancelling it. And whatever Elias says, whatever happens to Braun's on Kurt, then Kurt says that Elias needs to find a different strategy other than running away this time, because the Symphony of Destruction match will be a Falls Count Anywhere match. After that, we see hype for the 3rd annual Mizzies.
They're back.
And we also see a little hype image saying that Paul Heyman will be here later tonight to address Scrotum Pains himself. The Big Dog. His comments last week about Brock Lesnar. And we're also told that coming up next, Bayley will be out to address what happened with her and Sasha Banks last week in that little 6-woman tag match. But then when we come back from commercial, it's the commentary team revealing their latest Hall of Fame inductee. And ladies and gentlemen, that inductee is Mudlick's favourite son, Hillbilly Jim.
That's right.
Congratulations, Hillbilly Jim. Welcome to what I think is one of the greatest Hall of Fame classes, at least in recent years. And then, straight after that, the second shittest theme in WWE hits, and Bayley then makes her entrance. She gets a crap reception, and then she makes her way to the ring, and the commentary team let us know that she's about to have a match with Mandy Rose. But we were just told that she's coming out to address what happened with her and Sasha. We see a brief little recap of what happened, and then we cut back to the ring, and she's in there with none other than Charles. Charles asks her what went down, what happened between you and Sasha, what are your feelings? And as soon as Bayley starts talking, she says, at Elimination Chamber, it was everyone for himself, but what Sasha did, and then before she could even get into it, Absolution's music hits, and they just cut her off. Paige congratulates her for growing a backbone, but calls her a stupid little kid because she's pushed away the only person that cares about her, and that the strength in numbers would make her life easier. And if you've got no one, you got nothing. Mandy Rose enters the ring for a match, and then we cut back to another commercial, and then we come back to the Bayley Mandy Rose match. Nothing really special to me about this match, to be honest. The only thing that I took away from this match is how good Mandy Rose looks.
Yeah, she's heaps good.
She's really she's the top prospect in that little faction.
She was barely in NXT.
Aye.
She's just been training at the Performance Center,
and it shows,
for a few years.
It shows, man.
And yeah, she's just straight on the main roster, and
she's the one I'm watching in that little faction. Yeah, Sonya Deville's cool, Paige is Paige, so I love Paige, but she's not in action at the moment, and she's established. But Mandy is the one in that group that I'm like, yeah, that's one of the next top female stars. She's gonna grow, and it's gonna be good to watch. But yeah, this match was, wasn't anything interesting to me.
Bayley just picks up the win with the Paul Smackage, the small package.
Yeah, it was a little interference by Sonya Deville, but Bayley countered it. But Mandy, Bayley countered it and got the small package victory, and then it was an immediate beatdown by Absolution. What do you know? Predictability. Sasha Banks comes out to help, and I thought she was going to attack Bayley, like proper heel style, but no, she raised her hand.
Bayley pushed her away.
Yeah, no, I'm getting to that. Raised her hand, and then Sasha's music hits, and she goes to walk out of the ring and stops. Looks like she's going to attack her. And then she goes in for the hug, and that's when Bayley shut it down.
I think she done it first when she raised her hand, though.
No, she raised her hand and went to walk, and then came back for the hug, and Bayley was like, no good. I'm out. Doses. And that basically ended that segment. How many Lone Stars does the Mandy Rose and Bayley match get?
Just a 2-star.
Ooh, sorry, Mandy.
She did good, though.
Yeah, she hit a nice little V trigger, I guess we could call it.
I'll give Bayley 2 stars, Mandy 3 stars.
Yeah, there you go. See, individual stars. It's a first. It's a first here, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, after that match, we see the hype for the Symphony of Destruction match between Braun Strowman and Elias, and the commentary team talk about women's history, and we go to commercial. And on that note, we're going to take a quick little commercial break as well, but we will be right back with some more Wrestle Report Australia.
Whoop, whoop.
Howdy folks, I'm Chip Neckred, and I'd like to talk to you about Wrestle Report Australia and what it's done for me and my wife. My wife once came to me and said, Chip, I've got a whopping great big headache and I just don't know what to do. I've tried everything, taking a nap, having a hot shower, took a couple of Panadols, and nothing seems to be working. And my wife looked like horse shit, and I can tell you that. So I said to my wife, Barbara, don't worry about showers or Panadol, baby doll. Just get yourself a dose of some of the best wrestling and fight podcasts that there is and punch that headache right in the nuts.
That's fucking
fucking right, Chip. There's only one way to kick those headaches right in their testicular sacks, and that's by sitting back and listening to the latest and greatest wrestling and fight podcast in the world today. Wrestle Report Australia, the only place to go to get these pods. Hit it like and subscribe button now.
You're now listening to
Wrestle Report Australia.
You're here. I'm here. Let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Wrestle Report Australia. As always, this is Mike and this is Lon.
Yo, yo.
And we are in the middle of our Raw review for this week. We left off at a commercial break and we come back from commercial to a little promo with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax backstage. Just basically saying that Alexa knows that Nia must be disappointed in herself and it must have been embarrassing to give up on yourself like that.
So embarrassing.
Yeah, so embarrassing. But she doesn't want her to feel like she's a failure. A failure? A failure? Doesn't want her to feel like a failure. Or let herself, or feel like she let herself or her family down. She's got friends. She's got friends.
She's got kids.
And even though that she's not going to be on this year's WrestleMania card, Alexa knows that she's going to be on the next one. Needs to just pick herself up and not be ashamed. She should be proud of herself for everything that she's accomplished and overcome. Being bullied her entire life for being one of the big girls. Why got to bring that up for, Alexa?
Not a very good friend.
Yeah, hey. But she can't let any of this be her downfall, because if she does, then no one will respect her anymore. Then Nia has a little cry on camera, which kind of takes away from all of that, looking mean business.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought straight away. Why is she crying?
Yeah, I was disappointed in that angle, but I don't know. There seems to be a little tension rising there between Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax.
Has been for months.
Yeah, I know. So I want to know what's going on there. Like, is Nia gonna fuck her over at WrestleMania? That could be Nia Jax's WrestleMania moment.
Has Asuka even picked her opponent from the Rumble?
I think. No, but isn't Charlotte already slated to fight someone?
No.
Oh, then shit. I don't know. Who knows?
So she could be versing Alexa. And Asuka could
Yeah.
be versing Charlotte.
Oh, yeah, hey. Whoa, hey. Curveball. I like that. Moving on. We cut to the commentary team talking about how Ronda Rousey was recently inducted into the International Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Ronda. And then we see the recap of what happened last week with Braun and Elias. And then we see Elias backstage coming to the ring, and then we go to commercial. We come back from commercial, and it's Braun Strowman versus Elias time. I thought this was a very weird match.
You missed the Braun cam. Freaking came up again.
Oh, it did too.
With the bloody words on the screen.
My apologies. It did too, but do we really need to talk about how shit that is?
Yeah, well, I just hate how they bring up those words on that screen.
I hate how there's all these backstage cam segments all of a sudden.
And we're not dumb. So
We know what they're saying.
You don't need to put the words up on the screen.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, sorry, I missed that. There was a little handy cam moment with Braun talking about his Symphony of Destruction, and that's when we saw Elias making his way before the commercial. What's going on with me today? That's when we saw Elias making his way to the ring before the commercial, and then when we come back, it's Braun Strowman versus Elias. As I said, weird match, but Braun is awesome as always, so it was okay.
Just dominates.
Yeah, we saw Elias come out first, but this time he was on a piano instead of a guitar. The camera showed off all the weapons or instruments around the stage. There was multiple guitars, drum kit, piano, double bass.
World's biggest guitar.
Yeah, according to Jonathan Coachman. So Elias plays a little thing on the piano. Then he gets on the drum kit and he plays some drums. And then he starts to sing a song as he walks down to the ring. He gets a good reception as always for his Who Wants to Walk with Elias, and the WWE stands for...
Walk with Elias.
I can't hear you. I said WWE stands for...
Walk with Elias.
He got good receptions for them as always, but then immediately, also as always, he starts dissing his town that they're in and the crowd, which I always find entertaining.
Cheer for him.
Yeah, they pop for him. And then as he goes to get into the ring, he says before he gets into this ring, he needs a proper introduction. So the lights go out, and once again we hear, ladies and gentlemen, Elias. And then we see the spotlight on his stool in the middle of the ring, but there's no Elias. He's nowhere to be seen. And then we quickly cut to Elias running through the crowd. He runs all the way to the backstage area, and then he runs into the parking lot, and he goes to get into a car, and he tries to leave. He's revving the car, and the commentary team is saying it's in neutral. He's not going anywhere. He's revving, and then it's revealed that Braun Strowman, the monster among men that he is just holding the back of the car in the air, so there's no tires on the ground. That car's not going anywhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
So that was just a beast way to start the match. That was pretty cool.
He always gets the good segments.
That's because
He gets get to do the good stuff.
he's the company's top draw.
That's right.
And there's no doubt about that at the moment. He didn't even have any theme music. And once Elias got out of his car and started running, and then we quickly cut back to the commentary team. They're talking about what's just happening, and then all of a sudden we see Elias get thrown through the curtain onto the stage. No reaction. Braun just walks through the curtain and gets one of the biggest pops of the night. There's no music. He just walked through the curtain, and the crowd just loved it. They cheered him.
Yeah.
That just shows you.
Because they know shit's going down.
He's over. That just shows you. Anyway, as soon as they're onto the stage, the match begins, and they quickly make their way into the ring. It looks like Braun's going for the quick finish, goes for the power slam, but Elias countered it, and just broke a guitar, just shattered it over the back of Braun, and then hit a Randy Savage type elbow.
Clean.
Yeah.
That was a good elbow.
Yeah, and Braun kicked out at one.
Yeah.
They quickly fight up the ramp, and Braun takes Elias towards the announce table. Looks like he's going to put him through it. Elias counters again, but Braun quickly just starts decimating him, chucking him into everything. That's when we see the double bass come into play. The crowd gives it a massive cheer, and Braun once again smashes it clean over Elias's back.
Savage.
Absolute savage. And then he throws Elias onto the piano and sat down at the piano and just smashed on the keys. Because why not? And then he kicked the legs off the piano and just crushed Elias with it. And then chucked it off him and pinned him.
Bro, that was a thick leg on that table.
Fucking oath.
And he just kicked it off
He
like
just-
it was nothing.
Yeah, just bang.
Get out of here.
And then just chucked it off Elias after he was done with it and just pinned him on the stage for the victory. And Elias was stretchered out of the arena.
Yeah, I liked it. It was good.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked it in the sense that it kept Braun strong. It was just a strange concept for a match. I don't get why they have to always do these weird things. But how many Lone Stars does Braun Strowman versus Elias Symphony of Destruction match get?
It's another 3.
Ooh, another 3. The trend of this week, we've only had one match. Crack at 2.
Maybe a 3.5.
3.5. Holy
Just
shit!
because it was something different, and
Just because it was Braun.
yeah, Braun, it's good every segment.
After that, we see more hype for Paul and more hype for the Mizzies as we go to commercial. When we come back from commercial, this is some good news, some top news, breaking news. The commentary team talk about 2 newly announced massive international stadium shows, one of which will be in Saudi Arabia on April the 27th, being billed as the greatest Royal Rumble ever, with 50 superstars in the match, and the other being one here in Australia, with more details on that to come from WWE in the coming months. But before we talk about the Royal Rumble, we have to talk about Australia. What are your thoughts of them bringing a massive stadium show here, and what do you think's going to happen?
It's about time. Like, the last big one that they had was the global warming tour, and they haven't had anything really that big since.
Yeah, just live events, that's all we get.
Just live events. And they've been talking about it, like you've heard rumours that it might be happening, but they just confirmed it straight on Raw. And I swear that I popped.
He popped.
I popped like when the Hardys returned at WrestleMania.
We
Like,
popped.
I'm so excited for this. Like, as soon as tickets go on,
We'll be there.
hopefully
We're going to be there,
We're gonna
WWE.
be there.
We're going to be there. I promise you that.
we gotta be.
But yeah, any ideas of when you think that this might occur? Because they gave a date for the Saudi Arabian show, but they haven't confirmed anything for the Australian show.
It's just in October,
How do you know this?
because that's what they said when they announced it. It's October, but more will be announced.
There we go. Okay.
Saudi Arabia one is in April.
April 27th.
Yes, and,
And the
October is the Australian
is the
one.
Australian one. Okay.
But the biggest
the,
Royal
what,
Rumble.
the greatest Royal Rumble match ever. 50.
50.
What do you think of that?
Oh.
Are they going to...
They didn't confirm it on the show, but it is confirmed that Cena and Shinsuke will be in that match.
They confirmed Cena. I don't know if they confirmed Shinsuke.
They haven't said what the winner gets yet.
Yeah. What do you think? Is there going to be legends coming back?
Oh,
Is it
depends
gonna-
if
is it
it's
gonna-
on. It depends if it's on the network. Otherwise, I reckon they'll just fill it up with mid-carders.
How can they
Just
do
depends if they're putting these shows on the network. They obviously want viewers, so legends could be an option.
that? It could be.
They could be.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this 50-man Royal Rumble. It's going to be interesting to see how this story develops, ladies and gentlemen. And we will bring you all the news as it comes to us. Anyway, after that little piece of information, we led into Bray Wyatt versus Rhino this week instead of Heath Slater. This is just another quick squash match for Bray. He did some more weird shit, like held onto the ropes and just did some strange pose. And ended it quick with her sister Abigail, and then cuts my favourite point in Raw, ladies and gentlemen, my favourite point of Raw. Breaking news. Get ready. Shit's about to go down. He gets on the mic quickly after the match, and he calls out Matt Hardy. He says that the final deletion is not over. The Great War is not over, and for Matt Hardy to show his face, Matt Hardy appears on the Titantron, and he says that he's right. The Great War is not over.
Why are you saying this? They got the classical music in the background too.
Yeah, they had, for the first time ever in one of his promos, they had music playing in the background. We noticed that too, and I liked that.
Yes,
It was cool. It was a drawing factor. It
Yeah.
brought me in. But he says, yes, the Great War is not over, but if Bray Wyatt wishes to clash again, it has to be in a different realm, because the mortal realm of WWE could not contain the power, and there was only one place for this sort of cosmic combat, And that place was none other than, Ron, please let these people know.
The Hardy Compound.
Say it again.
The Hardy Compound.
One more time.
The freaking Hardy Compound.
That is right. The Hardy Compound. People, we are about to be shown the light. And we are about to get the full effect of the broken brilliance. We are told that the Hardy Compound will be the place, and then we see, for the first time in WWE, we saw glimpses of the Hardy Compound. We saw a sneak little
snippet of
Vanguard 1. The battlefield had been prepped for annihilation. We saw the Lake of Reincarnation. We saw Jeff Hardy's,
Brother
Nero's symbols scattered throughout the battlefield. We heard the music, and then Matt Hardy says, the place shall be. Matt Hardy says that it is time for the ultimate deletion.
Delete.
The crowd were loving it. The crowd was so excited that the Hardy Compound is now part of the WWE universe. But this universe cannot contain.
See, and then I popped again, like I did for that announcement earlier. That was, I loved it.
Yeah, probably my favorite part of Raw this week.
Borash is definitely in on that production. All those angles, everything in that promo that he done. That's exactly like TNA.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I don't know, it just reminded me.
I don't even give stars, man.
That's how he needs to be.
I don't give stars, but 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. That segment, that was hectic.
5 stars just for that promo.
For that match, though, 1 star because poor friggin' Rhino. That's bullshit.
The Man Beast.
The guy that friggin' gores people in half just gets beat under a minute.
I don't know who you're talking about, bro. All I know is Rhino the Jobber.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm not against squash matches, but you don't friggin' squash
someone like that.
Yeah, someone that matters.
People might not everyone might see it this way, but Rhino is a goddamn legend. He's a Hall of Famer.
For sure.
He's a bona fide Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
As JR would like to put it. That, like, you don't do someone like that. But, yeah, 1 star.
Yeah, 1 star.
1 star. Lowest rating of the night. After that, epic bombshell of the Hardy Compound, we lead into a commercial as we see The Miz heading to the ring. When we come back, he's already in the ring with the Miztourage, and we're under the way. We come back, and he's already in the ring, and he's with the Miztourage. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are for the 3rd annual Mizzy Awards. He gives some disses to the Oscars and the films and hypes himself in return. He had categories such as Superstar that is the best at patting themselves on the back. The nominees were Seth Rollins, Kurt Angle, and Finn Balor. The winner was a tie between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. The Miz says that they can't accept because they weren't invited to the Mizzies. So that's, yeah, fair enough. He had the awards out there too, like on a table.
Yeah.
They couldn't come get them. The second category was Worst Decision of a GM. And the nominees were Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle. The winner was unanimous decision of Kurt Angle. But Kurt couldn't accept his award because he was too busy sucking up to Ronda Rousey backstage. And then he wanted to take a minute to give out a Lifetime Achievement Mizzy. And it would seem that it was going to go to him. But before he could give it to himself, Seth Rollins came out and interrupted him and said that someone had to cut him off. The crowd loved it, but before he could even start talking, then Finn Balor's music hit and he cut Seth off, once again stealing Seth's shine. Finn Balor got an even better reaction than Seth too.
Yeah, his goofy smile.
Yeah.
That smile, man.
I want to just get your quick opinions on this. What are your opinions on Finn Balor / the Balor Club?
My opinions on them.
Mm.
Oh, they're not being used properly as the Balor Club or the club, Bullet Club, whatever you want to call it.
For life.
They should be more into that angle to give Finn, to me it should be Seth versus The Miz. Finn should not be in that picture. If you're going to have something for Finn at WrestleMania, I would have had something building up with him and the club with another faction.
There are no other factions.
They should have made one.
Okay.
They got to get into that angle and have a go for a couple of years.
3 people off the bat on Raw that you don't think are being utilised properly and could be formed into a faction.
Not used properly. Which rosters?
Raw.
Raw.
Mm.
Who's even on Raw?
Samoa Joe.
Joey's injured.
Big Cass.
Big injured. I don't know. There's no one really. Everyone's injured. Jason Jordan. Injured. Matt's got his storyline. Bray's in something. Titus. Oh.
Worldwide.
Gay.
They no-showed Raw this week. There was no Titus Worldwide this week, I'm afraid. McLovin was not there, people. Anyway.
Oh, you could have had Sanity or...
Yeah, where are they?
Authors of Pain,
In my opinion, why have they not been brought up yet?
I have no idea.
Both of those teams, Sanity as a faction and Authors of Pain as a team, why are they not on the main roster yet? Sanity is a perfect opening feud for the Balor Club. That'd be great. I'd watch the hell out of that feud. Eric Young facing Finn Balor, and then Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane with Gallows and Anderson. That'd be cool. Put him in War Games.
Why don't you have Anderson and Balor versus the Bar? They could be the champs.
What would Gallows do?
Gallows could be the muscle. He's the big guy.
Mid-Carter, Intercontinental.
Why not? Just something.
Full New Japan style.
Just, I don't know. Why chuck triple
Bring in
threats?
6-man tag titles, eh?
Where's the single matches? What's all these triple threats?
Tag matches, mixed tags.
6-man, friggin' 8-man.
50-man rumbles now. 7-man chambers. It's all a bit strange. But we're getting off topic. I'm sorry people. There's just so much to talk about in so little time.
I swear last week before the Rumble got announced, that 50-man, and we're knocking all these big matches, multi-man matches. I'm pretty sure I said 50-man Rumbles.
Yeah, what's next? We called it here first, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you know that this is the only place to go to get these pods. We're on top of the game here at Wrestle Report Australia. So, Finn comes out, interrupts Seth. Seth's not happy. He says, why do you always try to come out here and follow me? Finn's like, I'm not going to follow you, bro. I'm going to do you one better. And he starts to walk to the ring. Miz cuts him off and trash talks them both, saying to Finn that you need to be over, that you need to have more than a hand signal that's not even yours. And he says that Seth always loses. He then challenges Seth and Finn to a handicap match between the two of them and him and the Miztourage. On that note, they accept the match and we cut to a commercial break. When we come back, the match begins, the bell rings, and it's Finn Balor and Curtis Axel starting off the match. I thought this match wasn't anything too special. Finn Finn was in control and tagged in Seth. Basic back and forth. Miz got a near fall at one stage. And then we once again have Curtis Axel and Seth. Mr. Raj did control for a bit. Seth finally makes the tag to Finn. Miz distracts him, takes him outside, does a little offense there as we go to commercial, so the Miz to Raj are in control. There's a few near falls between the teams as we back and forth when we come back from commercial. Axel breaks up the last near fall for Seth Rollins, which leads to a suicide dive to Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas outside the ring. Rollins then sends Miz outside, and it looks like he's going for his trademark triple man suicide dive spot. But as he's going to do it, Finn then tags himself into the match, which is one of the major spots in the match. And then he stole his thunder and did the high spots. Did his little suicide, not his suicide, he did his front flip to the Miz Taraj. And then quickly after that, Finn hits his signature moves on the Miz in the ring and goes to do the coup de grace, but then Seth tagged himself in, hits the blackout on the Miz, 1, 2, 3, it's all over.
I like that finisher.
Yeah, I'm glad that's back, man. He needed that. I didn't like Seth when they got rid of that. It was just watered down crap.
Yeah,
and then
the pedigree.
And then he brought in trying to be Kenny Omega, doing the V trigger ish. And I mean, I guess it's cool to see moves out that are famous outside of WWE be brought in, but we know what you're doing. But it's good to see him back with his trademark move.
Just get the real deal.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully. Come on, Kenny. Come on, bro. Please. I know your love for New Japan is strong. You've done so much for that company. I know you've just reunited the Golden Lovers and you were going to have that match with the Young Bucks. It's going to be awesome. And you're going to have that match with Cody. And it's going to be awesome. But once you're done there, man, you're going to come... Well, I hope you're going to come into the WWE and just show everyone why you are the best in-ring performer in the world today. In my opinion.
Hurry up before it's too late.
Yeah. Please. For life. After the match, Kurt Angle appeared... No. Yes. Kurt Angle's music hits, and he came out and announced that Miz's WrestleMania opponents will not be just Seth Rollins and just Finn Balor. It will now be a triple threat match. Ta-da! Triple threat match between The Miz, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania.
It's official.
How many Lion Stars does this handicap match on Raw get this week?
Oh, I'm just going to go over 2 because what's the point of a handicap match? What's the point of that? What does it do for any of them?
Time filler.
Oh, give us a show.
After that, we cut to the commentary team hyping this Sunday's pay-per-view Fastlane and letting us know about the matchups that we're going to see, such as the Usos versus the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, Charlotte Flair versus Ruby Riott for the SmackDown Women's title, Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton for the United States title, and of course the 6-pack challenge for the WWE title between Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, John Cena, and AJ Styles. We're told that Paul Heyman is up next to finish the show, and we cut to commercial. We come back from our last commercial break. We're told about the Intercontinental title match that's just been made official, even though we already knew. And then, no music, Paul Heyman comes out, and this is where it got serious for the night.
Came out with the Universal title.
Yep. Holding it in his hands. He didn't have it over his shoulder, he was holding it in his hands. He says that he is the advocate for Brock Lesnar, and he gets booed. First time Heyman's been booed in a while.
Yeah, he normally gets a big pop. as soon as he walks out.
And when he got booed, he says that he didn't seek people's opinions or affirmations, and that he's here to deliver a message from Brock Lesnar. And he's here to set the record straight. And he's here to lay this title down in the ring because Brock allowed him to touch it.
He always does. He always holds it outside the ring.
Yeah, I know. And he says that after Brock defends the title at WrestleMania, and if he chooses to defend that title at SummerSlam, Paul Heyman will then come back onto television and lay it down again, and that he will lay the UFC heavyweight title down next to it. Which,
That's not going to happen.
yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm telling you now, ladies and gentlemen, Brock Lesnar is most likely going back to the UFC. All signs indicate that he is going to be fighting at least one more time in the UFC. But I can guarantee you that Brock Lesnar will not get... I'm not even actually going to finish that statement, because who the fuck knows? The next heavyweight title fight is Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier. Light heavyweight champion versus heavyweight champion. If Stipe wins that, he is by far the greatest heavyweight of all time, and there is really no one else for him to face other than, I'd say, John Jones, Cain Velasquez, or Brock Lesnar. So, who the fuck knows, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm pretty sure that there's no way Brock Lesnar is going to get a heavyweight title shot in the UFC. So that statement is just for show by Paul Heyman. Sorry, Paul, I love you and I love your work, but we know it's not going to happen, or it's most likely not going to happen.
There's rumours that he's facing Bobby Lashley after WrestleMania.
Yes.
That's his next feud in WWE.
I'd watch that, as long as Brock's there. As long as it's not Lashley doing most of the work.
And
it's,
talking, because he's not good on mic.
Yeah, I'd watch that. Paul then went on to say that Roman had a lot to say about Brock last week in his little promo. And Paul says that Roman's biggest win in his career was over The Undertaker, and he at WrestleMania. And he was one of two people to be able to pull that off. Nobody discredited it, and then he went on to hype The Undertaker. He gives props to Roman, and then he hypes Brock by saying that Roman isn't going to beat him. If Roman doesn't like it, then he can come out next week and say something and do whatever he wants about it, because Brock Lesnar is actually going to be there. And then he had a cool little play on words. He said, and after WrestleMania, you can seek a new title, because this one is Brock's.
That was smart.
That was smart. There's a little reference to Roman Reigns' heritage right there, because, you know, Paul Heyman's a genius. Then it looked like the promo was over. I thought that was it, to be honest. And then there's a little silence, and then he goes on to keep talking. He says that last week Roman said Brock was a bitch, and he then holds up the Universal title and says that this belt is Brock's bitch, and that Roman is eyeballing Brock's bitch, but he can't have her. He says Roman said that he wants to be the champ because it runs in his bloodline. No, he says that Roman wants to be the champ because his bloodline runs through this business, and this business runs through his bloodline. He then goes on to say that the belt isn't a strap or a prop. It's a statement that you are number one, the best in the world, the biggest dog in the yard.
The biggest dog.
And that's what the title means. It's how bad he wants the title, and how bad the title wants... It's not how bad he wants the title, it's how bad the title wants him. And then he goes on to list a little story about the sacrifice you have to make to be the champion. Went into a little family drama. And he said if you want to be the champ like Brock Lesnar, then that title is everything that you are, and you are everything that is that title. Next week, Brock will be here, and you can say anything you want to his face, and you've learned that you don't shoot on the mic with Paul Heyman, and you don't want to shoot in the ring with Brock Lesnar. What do you think about that promo as a whole?
Well, it's not over yet.
No, I know, but just before we get into the next part, what do you think of what Paul said in his opening segment?
I don't think he had to carry on with the whole, this is Brock's bitch.
Yeah, that was a bit heavy.
Yeah. I'll say, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Roman's promo last week is better than Paul's promo this week.
Yeah, Paul didn't seem happy.
Nah. I don't know, it wasn't a strong Heyman promo.
Honestly, it looked like they were trying to make a point. Like, Paul was trying to make a point. Like, he was trying to get a bit personal, and it didn't come off strong enough. It was just weird. Anyway, when we thought it was over, Roman Reigns... Anyway, when we thought it was over, we then hear Roman Reigns' music, and he makes his entrance. The commentary team tell us that he wasn't even supposed to be here tonight because management told him to stay away because they didn't know what was going to happen if he was here. Because Superman might fucking explode.
Michael Cole might explode in his pants. Seeing that big dog.
It's the big dog!
Boom.
As soon as he got into the ring, he walked right up to Heyman. And he, off mic, told him to pick the belt up off the ground and showed some respect.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. He didn't look happy at all. And I like that.
Pick that belt up and show it some respect.
Show it some respect. He was like, this is what I'm talking about, everybody. Last week he said a lot of things, some of them harsh, but all of them true. He thought Brock would be a man about it, but instead he sent Paul for his rebuttal. So Brock really must be a bitch. And then he said something that I firmly agree with. He's like, all everyone wants is that their champion shows up and actually wants to be here. So he's going to keep it simple. Tell Brock that he can say whatever he wants to his face next week, but make sure he ain't dressed for a promo segment and make sure he comes dressed for a fight. And then we go off air with Paul Heyman leaving and Roman standing in the ring with a little hype promo for their face-off next week on the bottom of the screen.
Looks like they're building Roman alright. I don't know.
But it's noted too
for this match they're building him pretty good.
But like I said, it's noted that they cheated him last week for his promo, which was a great promo, and they cheered him, which was a shock factor in itself. But then they brought him out after the show for a dark match, and they booed him out of the building. So you never know. You don't know what's going on. But for this program, they're building him correctly. But he's lucky that Brock is who he is, because if it was someone that was there all the time, he'd be in trouble.
I'm calling it next week for the face-off. They're going to get pulled apart. The whole roster's going to come out.
Yeah, security.
They're going to get pulled apart.
Kurt's going to be coming down. He's going to be sick again, and he's probably going to let some more information fly that we shouldn't know. But no, there's going to be security everywhere.
It's going to be
all the mid-card roster's going to be out there.
Every Lesnar face-off.
Yeah, it happens.
There's always the rosters coming down, pulling them apart. Or
there's always a good
maybe
little brawl,
security.
Though. There's also a good Brock gets his shot in, so it's going to be good to see. And I don't think they like each other, to be honest, like in real life. So, we'll see what happens. But yes, that's what led us off the air for Raw this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's Raw review. Quickly before I wrap things up here properly, I just want to give a couple of results from this past weekend's UFC 222 pay-per-view, because it was shaped up to be a decent card, but it lost some fights and some things happened, but it turned out to have some interesting results. One of which was Hector Lombard was versing CB Dollaway, and it got ended via disqualification after a little exchange after the bell. CB Dollaway ended up being stretchered out of the arena, which was a bit of a milking, I would say, but there's a bit of controversy, but it was an exchange, so Hector lost that, and it's not looking good because he's on a bit of a losing streak, so we'll see see what happens with him. At the same time, Frankie Edgar was originally slated to fight featherweight champion Max Holloway for the featherweight title at this event, but Max got injured and had to pull out, and Frankie Edgar, being the warrior he is, instead of sitting back, pulling out and waiting for his rightfully earned title shot, he said, "No, I want to fight," and he took on a young, up-and-coming, undefeated prospect in Brian T-City Ortega, and unfortunately, he lost that fight. Unfortunately for him, he lost that fight. Very, very good news for Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega became the first person ever to stop Frankie Edgar, and he did it in the first round. So that is amazing. Great props to Brian Ortega, who I can only imagine will now be the one to go on and face Max Holloway for the featherweight title when he comes back from injury. But much respect to Frankie Edgar. You're a true fighter. You could have sat back on the sidelines like many people do and chose not to fight and not risk your spot, but you laid it all on the line and you went out on your shield, and that's warrior spirit, man. Much respect. All the love in the world to the answer, Frankie Edgar. Can't wait to see you bounce back and get yourself back into that spot. And finally, another thing just to touch on is the main event, which saw Chris Cyborg go up against, and to be honest here, I hate to sound like a prick, but not only can I not pronounce this chick's name properly, I don't even know it properly, so I'm not even going to say it. I don't want to be disrespectful, I want to make that clear, but I knew what the results of this fight were going to be, so I didn't really pay much attention. Chris Cyborg stepped in to be the savior of the card and become the new main event to defend her featherweight belt, and she won in convincing fashion in the first round, and thus continuously cementing her status as what I believe as the baddest female athlete on the planet. Setting up now too, it will apparently be her next fight will be against the bantamweight champion Amanda Nunes. So once again, they're not giving her a actual featherweight prospect. They're giving us super fights apparently that we want to see, but it will be an interesting fight because they're both very technical and very, very interesting and fun to watch. So that's all I'm going to say on the UFC news currently. I can't tell you what the next event I will cover will be, but I'm sure as I'm aware of it, you will become aware of it as well. Lam, is there anything that you want to say to the people before we sign off?
Join the reporters.
Join the reporters.
Join the reporters.
Hashtag join the reporters.
You are the reporters.
We're the reporters.
They're the reporters. The C Nation, they're the reporters.
This, I see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
If you could see my colleague right now, he's getting all intense, and he's looking like something's about to happen. I can feel it, and he's hyping y'all like you really matter. You're the reason we do this, and it's true, y'all. It's true.
It's damn true.
It's damn true. You are the reason we do this. We enjoy doing this, and we hope you enjoy us doing this at the same time. So, I guess that's all for this week's edition of Raw Review. We will be coming at you in a few days with the SmackDown review. Until then, I am Mike. This is Lon.
Yo.
And we are the newest team, bringing you all the news in the wrestling world and the fight game. Until next time,
Doses.